Welcome back to my channel, and if you're new here, my name is Kristen and I'm a first year teacher, and I recently got this passion to read, and I have been reading all of Colleen Hoover and some book talks and some different things, but I wanted to share my opinion on this series that I'm reading, and it's not new because it has been all over the place, and I'm probably new to late to reading it, but I wanted to share my opinion and chit chat with you about it. So that's what I'm gonna do, and it is A Court of Thorns and Roses, and I'm just gonna get right into it. And this series though is right up there with all my Colleen Hoover books. So if you watched my other video I did on the books that I read, Colleen Hoover was a big one. I read like 5 of her books and I loved all of them, but my favorite was It Ends With Us, and this series though is right up there with it. It is really close. So let me just get started. So this is a fantasy genre, and I will say I was never really a huge fan of fantasy. I really like that romance a lot more, which is why I enjoyed the Colleen Hoover books. But this is right up there with it, and this series, guys, is just so great. And you guys weren't lying, because I saw this series everywhere, whether it was YouTube, TikTok, everywhere I saw it. And I just wanted to share my opinion with you all. So book 1, A Court of Thorns and Roses. This book was pretty good. It was really good, but it took me a while to really get into it, because there's a lot of characters. There is a weird plot. It's not weird, but it's different plot than I'm used to, because it's a fantasy world with fairies and all that good stuff. So it took me a while to finally understand kind of what was going on, and understand the character development and who was who and all that. So with this book though, for me, saying the characters' names, if you read this book, they are a little different. They're unique. So I don't know if I should try to use this video and explain things with character names or what, because I will butcher the names. I will probably say it how I read it, but it's probably not right. I can read a little bit about the back of the book. So when 19-year-old huntress Farah kills a wolf in the woods, a terrifying creature arrives to demand retribution. Dragged to a treacherous magical land she knows only about from legends, Farah discovers that her captor is not truly a beast, but one of the lethal immortal fairies who once ruled her world. At least he's not a beast all of the time. As she adapts to her new home, her feelings for the fairy Tamerlane transform from icy hostility into a fiery passion that burns through every lie she's been told about the beautiful, dangerous world of the Fae. But something is not right in the fairy lands. An ancient wicked shadow is growing, and Farah must find a way to stop it or doom Tamerlane and his world forever. So, with this first book, I really enjoyed it. I absolutely loved Farah, the main character, and Tamerlane and their relationship and how it was built, how it went about, all that good stuff. But yeah, so this took me a while to get into because of all of the characters and all of that good stuff. So let me talk about book number 2. Book number 2, A Court of Mist and Fury. Fury? Anyway, A Court of Mist and Fury. Why can I not say that? Alright, so book number 2, A Court of Mist and Fury. This book is heaven, let me tell you. So I know I said it took me a while to get into the first book, but this second book is thicker and everything. It is literally right up there with my favorite It Ends With Us by Colleen Hoover. This almost I almost want to say it beats it, but this book was the best thing I probably ever read. I don't know, it was so good. So this one I literally read so fast and so quick for how thick it is. I can't even. The first book, again, I loved Farah and Tamerlane and the Spring Court, sneak peek, and Tamerlane and the Spring Court and all of that. And then I started reading this book, and I'm gonna mess up his name. Like, they say Reese, or like Risan or Rishan, but I always say like Ray. But anyway, if you read the book, you know what I'm talking about. But I did not like him in the first book. Like, he made me mad. And then this book, I absolutely loved him. He is like the best thing ever. Him and Pharaoh's relationship is like the way it progresses, the character development, everything is so good in this book. Like, you can't put it down. And then like, I got so mad at Tamlin and Lucien and the whole spring court, and I love the night court and everything that it's about, and just like, I absolutely love this book. This is way better than the first one. Like, it might just be that way because the characters are already developed and I know what about the fairy world and like the fantasy. Like, I already know all of that from the first book, so maybe I like this book better because of that. But I've heard other people's opinions say that like this book was like their best out of all 4. So right now, yeah, I would say that this is way better than the first book. But I will say also, this book, if you have read it and you know chapter 66, it killed me. Like, I bawled my eyes out, and I will insert a picture because I literally bawled my eyes out. It made me so mad and so like emotional. I couldn't read the last like literally like probably 5 pages. Like, I could not read the end of this book. I didn't want to read the end of this book. Like, I just, oh my gosh, it was so frustrating. But like, once I calmed down and stopped crying, I could read the end of the book. But then of course everything changed from that last chapter, and I instantly ran to Barnes and Noble because it was like 8 o'clock and they were about to close. So I instantly ran to Barnes and Noble because they were closing and got the 3rd book, which is A Court of Wings and Ruin. So I just started this book, but by the time you're watching this, like, I could probably be like a good chunk of the way. I will say this is probably the same size as the second book, but a little bit bigger, way bigger than the first. And I didn't read the back of this book, but that's okay. So I had to get this book instantly, ran to Barnes & Noble and got it right before they closed. And at first they didn't have it. Like, sorry, he's chewing on my hair. At first they didn't have it, like it wasn't on the shelves. Like, I will show you an input, like me shopping to go get it because I was so excited to go get this book. And I'm gonna insert my clips right here. Now I am reading this book, though we just started back to school, so I haven't been able to read as much as I would like. So we'll see how long it takes me to read this book. But please be on the lookout for my next video of books 3 and 4. And thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe to my YouTube channel. It really means a lot to me that you watch my videos and subscribe, and please comment so I know that you're watching them, and I really will comment back. And I'd like to know your opinion if you read this series, or let me know if I intrigued you to read this series, but it is really good. So yeah, thanks for watching, and be on the lookout for my next video.